Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Today's topic, the age gap topic, never gets old. This topic is usually pretty popular on, channels that are talking about Western men and Filipinas. And so this comes from Tara Denany, life coach, Psychology Today. Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea. I have been married to my Filipino wife since 2015, so that's about 8.5 years. And yes, we do have an age gap relationship of 27 years. And as you will see in this article, what is considered an age gap is not anywhere near that kind of an age gap. So please leave comments and subscribe. Check out the playlist affiliate links on Love Beyond the Sea. Now, 3 key insights about relationships with an age gap. When is it normal for people of significantly different ages to partner up? And her idea of significantly different is not what a lot of men looking for Filipinas is, as you will see. Key points: younger women are more reproductively fit, and older men tend to have more resources to invest in a family. Women are less likely to enter relationships with older men as they get older because longevity favors women, and both men and women seem to be happier with younger, not older spouses, though this may be short-lived. Age gap relationships are by no means a new phenomenon, they say, but they are something that modern society still struggles to make sense of, often denigrated and dismissed as a fleeting phase. I can tell that by some of my comments on TikTok and YouTube. Prejudicial terms such as gold digger, cougar, and manther are used to describe some of the forms age differentiated relationships can take. Manther, that's a guy like me preying on younger women. Opposite of a cougar is a manther, except I wasn't preying on anybody, and many of you aren't either. At the same time, there's a growing movement demanding more respect and inclusivity of relationships that don't fit the traditional mold, as how we imagine and define the ideal relationship is expanding at a rapid rate. What can we learn from scientific research to help us understand the nuances of age gap relationships? Here are 3 insights to guide your thinking. 1, an evolutionary explanation. When it comes to any scientific conversation on sex and relationships, it is important to consider their evolutionary function, perpetuating the species. From this standpoint, it's not surprising that men tend to have a preference for women in their childbearing prime. In a 2012 paper published in Human Nature, evolutionary psychologists Sasha Schwartz and Manfred Hasselbrock write, the ability to reproduce is not equal across the lifespan. Women cannot give birth to their own children after the onset of menopause. Unlike women, men are not directly restricted biologically in their reproductive abilities. It's also not surprising that women have a preference for men who are able to invest resources into child rearing. Schwartz and Hasselbrock state, women invest more in their offspring, e.g. gestation, than men. Therefore, women prefer committed, long-lasting relationships and seek partners who are able and willing to invest in them and their potential offspring. Putting these 2 facts together, we can see why age-differentiated relationships, when they occur, favor a scenario where the male partner is older than the female partner. Younger women are more reproductively fit, and older men tend to have more resources to invest in the family and children. This conclusion is borne out by research, as a 1945 study found that men prefer partners who are about 2.5 years younger than they are, while women prefer partners approximately 3.5 years older. Now, I said 1945 study, but recent research has replicated this pattern. Men 2.5 years younger in the woman than they are. That's what they still tend to look for. And in the United States, that's what tends to happen, according to the latest statistics I've seen. Number two, what is the range of acceptable dating ages when we look beyond an individual's ideal partner age and instead ask what they deem acceptable? Things get more interesting. For instance, one study found that men on average are accepting of relationships with women up to approximately 10 years younger and 4.5 years older. Women, on the other hand, are accepting of relationships with men up to 8 years older and 5 years younger. Accepting, not ideal, accepting. But there's an important caveat. It has to do with how these acceptable limits change as we age. As men grow older, they accept even younger women. But their tolerated age span regarding the oldest partner they would accept is unrelated to their own age, state the researchers. On the other hand, women tend to accept younger men as they grow older, but the oldest partner they will accept decreases as they age. I think I ran into that before I got married. According to the authors, women are less likely to enter relationships with older men as they get older because longevity favors women, not men. And they say in Germany, for instance, the average lifespan for women is 5 years longer than it is for men. I tried finding some statistics on that just for the United States. I couldn't in the time I was looking, but I think it's about the same. 3, how does relationship happiness factor in? Perhaps the most important question revolves around the happiness people experience in age gap relationships. The first and most compelling insight is that relationships of any make or model can be happy relationships under the right circumstances. However, science offers clues on the combinations that seem to work best. One study published in the Journal of Population Economics found that both men and women seem to be happier with younger, not older spouses. However, this happiness advantage may be short-lived. The authors write, marital satisfaction declines with marital duration for both men and women in differently aged couples relative to those in similarly aged couples, and that's something to take seriously. These relative declines erase the initial higher levels of marital satisfaction experienced by men married to younger wives and women married to younger husbands. To explain this, the researchers suggest that differently aged couples may be less resilient to relationship obstacles than similarly aged couples. However, the research suggests that age gap couples who stay together experience less jealousy and exhibit a more unselfish form of love than age-similar couples. So that's also a very interesting comment. I'll skip the conclusion, and we need to wrap this up. That was from Tara Denny, life coach, clinical social worker, or licensed clinical social worker. I've been calling her a life coach, but technically maybe that's not true. So I apologize for that. LC stands for licensed clinical social worker, but it's good advice, and it's some statistics about age gap relationships. Now, we've been married 8.5 years. What comes down the line, in 10 years, as we both get older, but I get, closer to, the wrong side, I don't know. We'll have to see. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is doing what I've been doing. And that's putting her first, investing my life in her, looking at her as more important than myself, which I think is biblical, doing whatever I can for her good. That's all I can do. I made the decision to pursue and propose to her, and she made the decision to accept that proposal and get married. We also are not guaranteed a long marriage or a long life. That's also something to consider if you're getting up there in age and are still alone. So many things are unknown. And stay tuned for more videos here on Love Beyond the Sea.